We'll go around in circles, we'll do loads of bits that don't work, loads of bits that do work, and I'll put it. So, hello everyone, and welcome to this. Does this have a name? Hello everyone, and welcome. This is Salt and Light. This is So when my mouth works, that will be great. Hello everyone, we are the Salt and Light team. You may remember us from such church productions as professional. So hello everyone, welcome. This is a little introduction video to our new series of events called Salt and Light. And we are going to be starting a new session which is really relaxed, where we're just going to have tea and chat about things. It's going to be really good, I think.
And cake.
And cake, of course. What is church without cake? That's where so many people have been going wrong for so long. And in the first sessions, we're going to be starting to unpack the parables of Jesus, which is really exciting, but it leaves one big question. What on earth is a parable? Someone enlighten me.
I love to get into words, as we know, so I've had a good look at where the word parable comes from, firstly, because I'm a geek like that. It comes from the Greek parabole, if you say it that way, and it means to lay beside, so to compare it to something else. So in layman's terms, the idea of a parable is to explain a principle about God or the kingdom, something spiritual, but put it into real terms. So, but yeah, it's a good way to get a point across to people without actually scaring them off.
Very good, very good. So a parable is a way of explaining something that words can't quite do justice to, and it puts it into relatable terms, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. And to make it more modern, I mean, I'm sure we'll get into this, but to look back at the parables and culture, and it was very different at the time. So if we can put it into terms that us today would understand, and I include myself in that because I don't understand a lot of things in the church, so that's what they're for.
Well, they were just such an essential part of Jesus' teaching, weren't they? He used them more than anybody else in the Bible. And he made them stand out to those that needed to hear a special message. Usually the Pharisees and scribes, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who were being so against what he was doing. But it must have made them squirm if they really thought about what Jesus was saying. If they looked and thought, where am I in this story? Where's God in this story? How far away am I from God? And yeah, they would have been shocked and horrified, I think, if they'd looked at themselves good and hard.
I guess they'd been laying it down the law for so long, hadn't they? They've been saying, no, the Bible says this and this is what it means. And Jesus comes and says, no, actually, this is real life. This is what it means.
Yeah, they had no message of love, did they? Love and service. And I think that's what you get a lot from Jesus' parables.
Yeah.
I was thinking mostly the same. But I'm not a shepherd, and actually I don't know many shepherds, and there aren't many hills around here with sheep on. And I'm not a vineyard worker, although we have got vineyards locally. And I like a glass of wine. So it was a good way to teach, but maybe the examples aren't quite as relevant today as they were in those days. But I always think a parable always has a hidden meaning, something you have to tease out to make it relevant to you and our situations today.
Yeah, Jesus often followed a parable with, if you have ears, then hear. And then he'd explain the parables to his closest friends, but leave everyone else to stew on it and work it out, which is really good. But yeah, there's a lot about shepherds and sheep and vineyards and vines, and I don't know about anyone else, but that's not abundant in Grinstead. Like, what does it mean to us? Maybe we should look at replacing these things. As we go through the series, maybe we'll look at replacing those things that don't quite make sense, like shepherds and sheep and vineyards, and put in things that do make sense. Because if Jesus was here today in this estate, he wouldn't be talking about sheep and shepherds.
No.
So that's really exciting. Now, big question. We all know parables. We've all read at least some of the Bible. We've all touched on it, right?
Just a bit.
Good to know. What is everyone's favourite parable? If you had to narrow it down to one of these stories Jesus used, what would be your favourite? Joe, start with you.
The lost sheep is probably going to be quite a popular choice, I imagine, because we've all felt like that. But in basic terms, Jesus talks about if there's 100 sheep and one goes missing, then God will go and look for the one that's lost. So nobody is lost to God. He will go after anybody. And if he's got 99 people going in the right direction, but one that maybe needs him a bit more, then he's going to go and rescue that one. And that warms my heart to hear that. And there's quite a few songs, which hopefully we'll include in the services when we start, that talk about that. And it definitely touches mine.
Reckless love. Reckless love is just that parable, isn't it? I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Sue?
My favourite, I suppose because I like gardening and growing things, is the parable of the sower. But I kind of want to reinvent some of the way it's told, because although seed that falls on hard, stony ground can be coaxed along if somebody gets alongside you, it can help you to get to God. So I kind of want to retell that parable a bit.
That sounds really good. So tune in for that one for sure. Marie?
I'm similar to Joe's vein. You know, I love the parable of the prodigal son. How easy it is to sink low very, very quickly through selfishness, through greed, to distance yourself, not just from your friends, family, but God. But if you can recognise that, there is that very quick way back, and how quickly that father welcomed his son back despite the pain he must have caused him. But that's God for us, isn't it?
Absolutely.
He is there waiting for us to come back to him.
And I think we can always recognise a bit of the prodigal son story in our own journeys.
Exactly.
And however unworthy we've felt, we've always been welcomed back by God. It's incredible.
What about you, Sam?
Oh, you see, now I was thinking if I asked the questions, I wouldn't have to answer. One that I really enjoy listening to in various forms at the moment is I am the vine, I am the true vine, my Father is the vine dresser, and how it talks about trimming off and how God is pruning, not changing us, but shaping us. And it just, every time I listen to it or read it, I just hear a slightly different, like they're so packed with little different meanings just hidden in there, and they jump out every now and then. And yeah, so at the moment, that's my favourite. Ask me by the time we come to session 1 and I'll tell you something completely different.
But isn't it interesting? That just made me think that you doing that and hearing different things in it is actually pruning you as well.
That's brilliant. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a constant journey, and I think none of the parables give us straight answers. They don't say, this is where you're going to go, how it's going to be 100%. It says, this is who God is. This is how you journey towards him. So, Salt and Light is an opportunity to not be told what to think, but to come and explore and meet other people who are just trying to see what this is all about, really. And so we're going to have conversation. We're going to hear every opinion, even those really loud, brash ones like mine. We are going to hear everyone's opinion. So do come along. As we said earlier, there's going to be tea and cake. I mean, what more do you need? So, yes, Salt and Light is coming. And on the 6th of February is going to be our first session. So that is 4 o'clock on the 6th of February at St Anne's Church on Compton Road. And you can just roll up. There is no necessary requirements, no dress code, wear something, but there is no dress code. So do just come, grab a cup of tea and have a chat with some honestly friendly and not too weird people. It's going to be really great.
And if you can't get here,
there are lifts
that's
available.
Not an excuse. We will give lifts.
Yeah.
Listen to Marie, because if you try and use it as an excuse, she'll just turn up at your door and drag you. So if you do need help getting here, please do let us know. It's also going to be live streamed, so if you really can't make it to the building for any reason, we will have live streamed versions going out at the same time, chances to discuss on the Facebook page, but in person there's going to be a lot of chat and, as we said, tea and cake, so that'll get me off my sofa.
Tea, cake and laughter, I think.
Tea, cake and
Definitely
laughter.
laughter.
So that is parables, sort of explained, and to really see if they can or can't make sense, and do let us know if they do or don't when we get into it. But the only way to take this further and get a better understanding is to come along and have a chat with us and with everyone else about what these parables may mean today. Are they relevant? Do they make sense? Do they call us to get off the chairs and make a difference?
Yep.
Great stuff. So hopefully we'll see you on the 6th of February at 4 p.m, online or in person at St Anne's. Any questions, more information, needing a lift, do just drop us a message through this page. And we look forward to seeing you then. Cheerio.
Bye.
I think
that'll
that's
work.
good.
I think that'll work. I will sift through it and